Content note. This episode contains discussions of sexual assault and other themes of violence against women. Listener discretion is advised. If you or someone you know is in need of support, resources are available in this episode's summary. Thank you for listening. Quincy Durkin is a queer aspiring filmmaker who found her voice on social media after facing adversity at her very first full-time job. Fueled by resilience and a deep commitment to advocacy, she's used her platform to support survivors and raise awareness about the realities of cults. Outside of her advocacy work, Quincy has a passion for music and traveling. She loves listening to her favorite band, Muna, and spending quiet, cozy moments cuddling with her pups, embracing the simple joys that bring comfort and peace. In creating trauma-informed spaces for difficult conversations, Quincy made the intentional decision to have a mental health coordinator present during this interview. You'll hear briefly from Lauren Weingarten as part of this empowering conversation. It's a reminder of the importance of leading with care and centering survivor needs, and it's an honor to be a part of Quincy's path to resiliency and healing. This is True Crime in Hollywood, Quincy's personal tale. Hi, listeners. Today, I am sitting down with someone that is very new to me. However, she was brought to me by a near and dear friend who I trust with every fiber of my being. And she said, I need you to meet Quincy. And hearing Quincy's story really resonated with me for so many different reasons. But the biggest reason is that she is finding her path to resiliency. She's finding her way to breaking her silence, telling the world what her experience was, and that she is being seen and she is being heard. So I want to welcome Quincy to True Crime in Hollywood. So hi, Quincy. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much, like I said, for doing this today, because this has been something that feels like a long time coming. But before we get into all of that, I kind of want to go back to young Quincy for a minute. And I want to know, what were some of your dreams and goals as a kid? Like, what did you imagine your future looking like before your connection to Fearless?
Well, my dad is a video editor, and so I wanted to take that path as well. And I would make YouTube videos, like music videos, mainly to Kesha songs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
so
love
I was
it.
really yeah, I was really passionate about that. Once I got into high school, I became pretty depressed, so I kind of abandoned my creative side and was just in survival mode. Yeah, when I graduated from high school, I was still wanted to go into film. Um, but I didn't get into any of the schools that I wanted to go to. So,
Mm.
anyway, well, I ended up starting school and I just wasn't happy. So I dropped out and I moved to South Korea to try to learn Korean because I,
Wow.
yeah, I,
Quincy, what?
yeah, yeah. So
Ah,
I know it like
okay.
seems like such a, that was so long ago. Like I still like, I can't believe I did that. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, so I
Wow. Tell me
lived
more
in
about that, though. What brought your vision? Talk to me about that.
always wanted to learn another language that had a different like writing system just because I thought it would
Yeah.
be like impressive to be able
Mm-hmm.
to do that. And I went on vacation with my dad and my sister to Korea and I was like, yep, I'm gonna come here. So yeah, I also was super
Yes.
into K-pop. So
Yes.
yeah, yeah,
Oh my gosh. So you were just having you were just tapping into all the things
yeah. And
at that point. Yeah.
yeah. And when I was in Korea, I was like, okay, what I want to do is I'm gonna do K-pop music videos. Um, I didn't, but that was what I was thinking at the
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah. I love that though.
Yeah.
So, okay, what were some of your favorite parts?
I made a lot of friends that I still keep in contact with. Like I'll go, I don't know, it's just hanging out with my friends and like it was my first time living on my own. And
Wow.
yeah, so I was 20 Yeah.
Oh
Um,
my gosh, Quincy.
yeah, but I made some of my best friends are some of the people that I met there. So I try to like once a year I'll go to try to visit them. Like I went to Japan to see my friend last
Mm.
year, and then before that I'll like I have friends in Europe too, and we'll just
Wow.
yeah, so we still keep up with each other, and yeah, I love them. And yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, so major kudos to you
Thank you.
for going and living abroad for your very first time, like living on your own. Like, just think about that for a minute. And thinking about where you made that shift for yourself when you felt like you were really stuck in that depression and that depressed state. But that just, like said, shows your path and your journey of, resilience and taking something that you really wanted to do. And you were like, yeah, I'm going to go do the damn thing. But look what came of it. You made lifelong friends
Hmm.
and you're still traveling. So
Yeah.
that's a beautiful story. Okay, so K-pop film. So you knew you wanted to be either way, like entertainment industry, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Did you like start integrating into the entertainment industry? Like, did you do any type of work studies or like going and making more experiences for yourself to learn more about the industry?
Yeah, well, my all of my dad's friends work in the industry, so
Yeah.
they kind of sorry, nepotism, but I they help they I would like get a few things like being a production assistant on things, and then
Okay.
my neighbor who was a close family friend, he started his own production company, and he worked a lot of videos for YouTubers. And so I started editing for him. I was doing that like freelance work, but I was more interested in the production side of things. I'm not the biggest fan of editing. The year before I got my first full-time job for this YouTuber called The Professor, I had worked on a shoot with him where I was a production assistant, and I was like, this is so cool. Like this is awesome. Like I felt so special and so cool. Yeah, so when the next year when I was offered the full-time job to edit for him, I was like, of course. Like I was so excited.
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about these PA like jobs. What was that like?
Yeah. Well, since I didn't go to film school, I was just there doing it. Like I would bring people coffee and do, I mean, just like
Mm-hmm.
things like that. But I was there watching it. So I was like
Yeah.
learning, and I was so excited to learn and just see how everything goes on. And yeah, so
Wow. Yeah. No, I totally get it. And I'm asking you that because that resonates with me. Because
mhm,
I didn't necessarily go to film school, but I knew I had to do something to get on set. So I went the background acting route.
mhm,
And so hearing that you went the PA route, I love it because, right? Like once you get onto that set, it's like, oh, this is so magical. Like
mhm,
this is how movies are made, and you have that feeling in you because you start up on a high. Yeah.
mhm,
Just like you said, this was now your first full-time job with the professor.
yes.
And during that time, obviously there were some really difficult and traumatic things that happened. Can you walk me through that?
Sure. So I started the job, and it was, I mean, they're paying me less than minimum wage, but I was like, this is going to lead to greater opportunities. And the way that everyone spoke about it, like how they weren't trying to, I don't think people were trying to put me down or necessarily, but they'd be like, "Oh, you didn't go to film school and you got this job." Like things like that to make me
Mm,
feel like
hmm.
I'm more indebted to them. But
Right.
yeah, so I start the professor, his office was out of Fearless Church's building, which
Okay.
is now I know Fearless is a cult. I did not know that at the time.
You just said a really crucial word, which is cult. So when I sat down with Quincy for the first time and she's sharing her story, it shattered my heart in so many different ways because I've already heard these types of stories. You also said, I didn't know it at the time that this was a cult.
Mm-hmm.
And while there hasn't been an investigation or anything like that into the church or anything, it's important for me to remind people that we are now sitting in a day and age where social media is our truth. Everything on social media is what life is, right? But we're starting to see these trends of cults now operating on a social media level
Mm-hmm.
and how that represents the person, the company, because the professor has millions and millions of followers. Yes. Can you talk to me a
Yeah.
little bit about who he is?
A loser. He,
Yes,
he,
girl.
he's a basketball influencer. But
Hmm.
he also does post a lot about the church and loving God, and even though he doesn't really,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Influencer. Keyword. Yeah.
Hmm.
And I understand that the connotation with influencer can mean so many different things, but when people have a platform this big, that concern goes even higher. Why? Because people put legitimacy on numbers,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So, okay, let's peel back a little bit and talk about how you found this job. What were your initial days like, and what started coming up for you?
Oh, well, first it was fine. The professor wasn't in the office very often. It was usually it was just usually me with his cousin,
Hmm.
who was my abuser. Um,
Yeah.
but he was super nice to me. Like, he's like, wow, he just would build me up a lot. And, like everything I did was so good. And like, wow, you're so talented. You're whatever. And he was just doing that to try to get me to be comfortable with him so that I would like let my guard down, I guess.
Right.
But, um, yeah, then he started doing he would just like say suggestive things like he sent me a video of a frog, and it was a frog making noises like normal frog noises, and then at the end it was like a woman moaning. And I was like,
Oh,
what?
jeez.
I was like, why did you send me that? He's like, oh, it was funny. I was like, okay, like making me feel it seem like why would you even think that's a weird thing? Does that make, do you know what
Mhm.
I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
Yes.
then another time I walked into the bathroom, like there's a sink area, and I walked in and he was putting on deodorant, but he had his shirt like all the way up. I don't know why. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I just ran into the bathroom. And then when I came out, he's like, you saw me naked. And I was like, oh no, it's okay. Like I just saw like a white blur. It's all good. And then he like kept bringing it up. He's like, you saw me naked. You're gonna see. Hopefully you don't. Make sure you tell me when you're coming up so you don't see me naked again. Like things like that. He like kept bringing it up. I was like, okay, I saw a white blur. Like that's all. Yeah. So I did end up opening up to him about how I was more interested in production and like wanting to do those types of things because he acted like he was my friend, which now looking back, I understand what he was doing or kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so oh, and also on the first day he asked me if I was a Christian, and I thought that was just like a weird thing to ask somebody. I did grow up in the
Oh
Christian
boy.
church.
Hmm.
Um, I felt like I just didn't agree with a lot of beliefs that a lot of the Christian people that I've come in contact with have,
Yeah.
especially because I am a lesbian. That was one of the main things. I was at church one time, and this lady was sobbing because someone from where she lived, um, like two men got married, and she was so upset about it that she was crying. I was like, what? 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 And I was just like, yeah, church is not for me.
Yeah.
Um,
In terms of just like HR 101, asking anybody their religious affiliation is a no-no. Right? Like, first of all, let me just be abundantly clear. That is not a question that is appropriate for work. So, and I don't think most people realize that. So the fact that that was already being imposed on you of like your religion is immediately brought up
Mhm.
as a means to what, right? Like it makes sense in terms of manipulation
Mhm.
and things that are closely tied to cult leaders because all of these individuals operate by the same playbook. It's it's literally textbook. So I also want to talk a little bit more about the Fearless Church
Mhm.
in itself, because this isn't a church that has like 50, 100 locations. No, right? There's only like two or three, I think.
Mhm.
Talk to
Yes.
me about that.
My abuser, he did before he had, I mean, he had crossed the line, but he hadn't physically crossed the line yet.
Yeah.
Um, he invited me to go to a service with them. And before that, the not the main pastors, Jeremy and Christy, they're like up on this pedestal. They have never spoken to me. Even after all this,
Mm.
like they've sent me cease and desist, but they've never spoken to me. Um, they had their, I
Wow.
think they were called uh campus pastors. They would always be around with their daughter who was like a toddler. Um, and they
Mm.
would just talk to me about the church and they were like, "Yeah, you should come sometime." I was like, "Okay, like okay."
Mhm.
And then when my abuser finally invited me, I went and it was so weird. Like the first thing they asked everyone who had never been to Fearless before to raise their hand. And then they gave you a gift bag. It was it had like two lemon heads and a pair of socks. Like, do better. But
Wow.
anyway, and then there was a QR code on on the big screen and then also on the bag. And it asked for all of your information, which I thought was odd, but I didn't because it was like associated with my job. I was like, I'll do it. It's fine. But they like
Mm.
my name, my just like my address, all of these things.
But weaponizing, right?
Mhm.
Religion, first of all, like that's fine if people have religious beliefs, but it's like scamming people, you're traumatizing people, right?
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that we talk about your time as like it progresses after like those initial stuff, like before things start to ramp up for you. You start having like these red flags starting to go off even more. Talk to me about like what was percolating for you.
Well, I have I remember one of the campus pastors, he came over while I was working, me, my abuser, and this pastor, and he goes, what do you think makes someone a good person? Or what makes someone qualifies a person to get into heaven? And I said, well, I think that if you're a good person and you just try to, I don't know, not harm others and to help others and just to be kind, I think that's what will get you into heaven. And he goes, "Mm, no." And then he was like, you this was before I had gone to a service. He goes,
Yeah.
"So you're probably like you probably use like drinking and drugs and like dating men to fill some kind of hole and like something's missing, right?" And I was like, well,
Wow.
I'm gay. I didn't tell him that because I was scared, but I was like, no,
Yeah.
I actually don't. I was like,
Yeah.
no, not really. So I remember that he was like trying to convince me, like, you're missing something in your life. You need Fearless. Yeah. So
Wow.
that was like, I was like,
Probably not, sir.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
actually,
uh,
my experience with
yeah.
Fearless actually made my life a lot worse. So,
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Let's start talking about when you started feeling like I need to get out. I need to abandon ship.
So I finally, after working for them for about a month, I finally got to work on my first, I got to be part of one of the shoots for the first time.
Okay.
And also at that time, my abuser had cut my hours and he
Mm,
used an excuse about like he was late all the time. So he's like, oh, just come in at 10 instead of 9. So I was getting less money.
mm,
And then the next week, he asked me out for drinks. So I went and he did make it feel like it was my idea. I don't know. It's
wow.
really hard to explain like the manipulation if you've never been in this kind of position. But
Hmm.
yeah, it was crazy and he took like because he had so much he could fire me. So like obviously I was going to listen to him because I
Right.
didn't want to lose my first full-time job. We got drinks and then he invited me back to his house and on social media he presents himself as like this he found God and like he's all better now, but he was an abusive meth addict for over 10 years. But he actually never went to
Mm,
rehab. He just goes to Fearless and they're like, "Oh,
mhm.
you're fine if you give us
Yeah.
money."
Yeah.
So he started smoking um he started smoking at his house and I was like, "Oh," and he like tried to get me to smoke as well. I was like, "Oh, I don't smoke. Like it usually gives me like I no thank you." And he still like later on he was like blowing it. He was like blew it in my mouth and stuff without me saying that was okay. But yeah, he started to we were just kissing or whatever, which was okay. And then he started to take off my pants and I said, "Oh, I didn't shave." Like no, I because I didn't want to. And then he goes, "No, it's okay. I don't care." And then I didn't say no again. So that's why I said I did consent because I only said no that one time. But yeah, he was very violent. He like was choking me during it and biting me, leaving me with bruises. It was a lot. Yeah, so I was like, that was weird. Um, I went back to work the next week and he was kind of like ignoring me, sort of. Like he was not
Hmm.
being friendly with me again. I was like, okay, I guess maybe he just wanted to do that one time. That was odd. Um, and then the next day he invited me to or he said, can you come up to the conference room? So I didn't know if he wanted me to like he was gonna tell me something about an edit that I did. And then he just
Hmm.
started like groping me and that became a thing I wouldn't where I wouldn't know when he called me into the office if he was going to like take out his penis and pressure me to do things or if he was gonna be like you really fucked that edit. Yeah, he also I had told him about he asked me after the first time I went to the Fearless service, he asked me, "What did you think of the service? You can tell me the truth." And I didn't tell him the truth. I was like, "It was good." I was like, "I just the reason I left the church was because of the views on gay people." And he was like, "Well, it is wrong." I was like, "Well, I mean, I like girls." And he goes, "Oh, so you're like bi?" I was like, "I guess." Because at the time it was hard for me to accept because I did grow up in a Christian
Yeah.
household.
Right.
Yeah, anyway, so like there was one time we were in the office and he goes, "Yeah, I don't think you believe I don't believe that you like girls." And then he took out his dick. And I was like, "This is how is this happening?" Like but he was only nice to me if something sexual was happening and he was my boss. So like obviously I would be more inclined to be like, "Okay, if he asked me to do these things, even though he'd have to ask me multiple times and be like, no, no, until unless
Yeah.
he was, yeah." So
Mm,
yeah.
it's a
Um,
lot.
yeah. He always wanted to have intercourse in the office, and I was really not comfortable with that because of the cameras, the security
Yeah.
cameras, and just that's gross.
Just that,
I
yeah. Well,
it's just
who's,
gross.
yeah.
I one he asked me a lot of times, and I finally gave in. And he was like, "No one's here. Don't worry about it. Whatever." So I did it. I was uncomfortable. I had to take drugs to be okay with doing
Yeah.
it. After he finished, I went to the bathroom and when I came out, the one of the pastors was in the hallway. I was like, "You told me we were alone, so I have no idea." Did the pastor know what was going on? Like, I was like, "This is so effed up. And then he went downstairs with the pastor and he's like, okay, you can sneak out now. And I was like, what just happened? After that, he started being even, he was so mean to me. I walked in, I said, good morning. He goes, we're not doing that today. Like, I asked how his weekend was. He was like, no, we're not doing that today. I was like, I'm just being a person talking to another person. What do you mean? Um, and then he eventually told me, he goes, I decided that I don't want to have sex with you anymore. Like, this isn't good for like, the next time I have sex with a woman, it's going to be my wife. And like, all these things. He also would tell me all these things like, um, premarital sex is really bad, doing drugs is really bad, drinking's really bad. And I wasn't doing any of those things at that time
Yeah.
until I started hanging out with him. Um, so that was also weird.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, he's like, yeah, we're not doing this anymore. So I was crying because I was like, okay, well now I'm like probably gonna get fired. And he's like, yeah, you were handed this job. Don't F it up. Like, don't, if you report me, they're just gonna, I'm too valuable. You're gonna get fired, which I mean, he was right.
Wow.
I mean, I didn't get fired, but they like pushed me out. Yeah,
Yeah.
so and then he was like, we can have sex one more time. Come over tonight. So I went, which I feel really silly about, but I went and we did, and he told me that he said that it pissed him off that well, he was always violent with me, but he said that it pissed him off that I cried in the office and he hit me really hard. Um and then yeah, when we were having sex, that was the most violent he had ever been, and he left so many bruises on me, which I took pictures of, which I'm glad I did. Um yeah, and then after that I was like, I don't think I can't work with this person because this is not okay. So I did report him to the professor, and the professor was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I had no idea this was going on. And he was like, okay, I let Zach go. But I would, if you still want to work with me, I would love that. So I was like, okay. So I kept my job. Also, I didn't get an apology from my abuser. He just blocked me on
Mm.
everything, which kind of sucked. And but I also told them about oh, he told me, my abuser told me, if you tell anyone, I'll come for you and whoever you're with, and I'll kill your dog, because he knows how much I love my dogs. So I was so scared, but they were like, don't worry, he's not gonna kill your dog, he's not gonna hurt you. I was like, well, he already has hurt me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so after I reported it, I told the pastors. Everyone was like kind of weird about it. Like, I don't know. And I had a girl from the church had befriended me, and she told me that my abuser had actually done the same to another woman from the church. And
Mm.
the professor knew about it, the pastors knew about it. I was like, okay, well, so then why was he left in a position alone with me? And I I was talking to the professor. He's like, let's take a week off, and or take a couple days off, and come back where we'll have a meeting and we'll talk about everything. So at the meeting, he was like, I'm sorry that happened to you. I didn't think anything like that would happen. Yeah, well, and he's like, I would have never hired anyone that I found attractive, or I thought your abuser would have found attractive. And I was like, that is an
Wow.
insane thing to say to somebody, and so mean.
Oh, that is
And also like
awful.
that, yeah. So I was like, oh, what? But anyway, so I was like, okay, you know what? I win in this situation. He lost his job. I still have the job, and I like had a meeting with one of the pastors, and she was like, we had no idea that the abuse was this bad when he abused the other woman. And I was like, yeah, well,
Oh.
how are we going to protect? So now that you know that he is an abuser, he's still using drugs, all of these things, he's going on a mission trip to Nepal in a couple months. So I don't think it's safe for him to be around children and women who have less resources than I do, because look how bad I'm doing with all this. And she goes, God will hold him accountable. And that's what everyone told me. God will hold him accountable. I was like, well, that doesn't seem correct to me, because why wasn't God holding him accountable then when he was doing stuff to me in the church's building? I stayed at that job for another month, and the professor would always bring up my abuser. And I
Mm.
had confronted him multiple times, like in a nice way. And I have like the text. I was like, "Hey, when you bring it up, you're minimizing what I went through. I wasn't dating this man. My um my boss used his position of power to get me to do all these things, and he was so abusive, and you're acting like it's no big deal, and I don't like that." And also my first video back, he gave me a bunch of my abuser's responsibilities and no raise. I was still getting paid less than minimum wage. And the first video when I got back was a video where I had to listen to my abuser's voice over and over and like subtitle everything he said because he was the camera guy for that
Wow.
video, or for most of the videos. Yeah. So I felt like I was like, I didn't see it then. I thought he was just maybe stupid, but looking back now, I'm like, I think he was trying to push me back out because, so when I finally did quit, guess what? My abuser has his job. He still works with him. He still promotes him to his millions of followers. So yeah, I think that I'm correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I see you, I hear you, and I believe you.
Thank you.
There is never, ever, ever a reason that this level of abuse should be happening, especially at employment level. Now,
Mhm.
that is not blame on you. Who's to blame? Them,
Yeah.
because it's perpetuated. It is a cycle. It is the means to continue making money in their pockets.
I tried to make sense of it, like, oh, is it because he makes a lot of money for them because of these basketball videos? Someone that befriended me from the church told me that something similar happened to her with a man on the worship team, and they did the same thing with
Mhm.
her. Forgive and move on, forgive and move on. That's what they kept saying. Um, And then she said, if you want something to be done about it, you have to go to the police. So I did go to the police, and nothing was still nothing was done about it. But at least I have like the record that I did that. Oh, it's not just me. This is like a these people are all this is weird. This is yeah. So I was like, this is not okay. And then they also, once I finally quit, I was like ostracized. Like everyone blocked me on everything. I was like, oh, that is so odd. And like no one checked in on me. Also, I told the professor, I was like, could you like I need help paying, I can't afford therapy because my therapist was expensive at the time, and then I had to stop going to her. But he he wouldn't give me any money for it, and I know how much money he makes, and it was how much money I asked for 6 months of therapy, which is wasn't even enough because it's 2 years later and I'm still struggling, um is such a little amount of money to him. That's like, that is just really not cool. Yeah.
Mm. Quincy, I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
Truly. I mean, like I said, you are in survival mode. And it's your first experience, not just on like an editing gig, but equally like your first full-time job, right? And
Yeah.
so you're not familiar with the culture. They're obviously not doing like sexual harassment or like HR trainings that you typically find, at like reputable production companies, right? And even then, stuff still happens, but
Mhm.
needless to say, I I'm holding space for you in this
Thank you.
regard because I'm proud of you, but you equally should be proud of yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah. And the reason I'm saying that is because you are taking one of the hardest things. And just like you said right now, you haven't healed from it. And it's 2 years later.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm fully healed from my assault that was 19 years ago.
I'm sorry.
That's the truth. But that's our reality,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And it's hard to be living in a world where our media and social media is all about breaking down survivors. Yeah. P. Diddy
Hmm.
trial going on right now. we're seeing this, and especially in the Black community and Black women, you know. So
Mhm.
these are hard conversations, and these are our traumas, and our trauma isn't the event that happened to you, it's how we reacted to that event. By you telling me this story today, that takes a lot of courage, and just recognize that I know you're doing this on behalf of other survivors because social media accounts started popping up. Yes. And they were talking about the Fearless Church, but then survivors. And it was like, oh, wait, I'm not alone in this.
Yeah, I saw someone had posted a Google review, a 1-star review, and they said this church is like a cult. So
Mm,
I tried to find them on Instagram, and I did, and I messaged them, and then yeah, I found out that there's like a support group page, and I was like, oh, okay, okay, I guess it like validated what happened to me because a lot of people, if you haven't gone through something like this, you don't, I guess you don't understand like how severe and how much of a mental toll it takes on you.
right.
Because pretty much everyone thought I was overreacting in my life. So seeing that there were other people who uh also experienced things like this from the same church, or the same people, I was like, oh, I guess maybe I'm not crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. But realizing then, okay, you're not making this up. And that's something that I'm sure is just gaslighting from their side, right?
Mhm.
Or downplaying what you went through, correct?
Mhm. Yeah.
So, can you talk to me about the moment you decided to break your silence on social media and what that journey has been like for you thus far?
Yeah, so, when I told them I tried to solve everything. I wasn't looking for attention, I wasn't doing this, which, like, people have accused me of, but I tried to solve all of this offline, like, by talking to them, and they just blocked me. And then, I was really concerned about the women in Nepal for that trip, and I found out he was still going because I saw a video of Jeremy talking about these brave men going on this trip, and my abuser had posted it. I was like, oh, he's talking about him. So I posted it. I made a video, and I about my experience and how I was worried about the women at the church and the children at the church and the women in Nepal. And so I posted my video just to warn people, hey, maybe don't go to this church,
Hmm.
because they are promoted by a lot of influencers with a lot of influence. And they parade themselves around as this like super accepting, trendy church when it's not. Um, and they've
Right.
harmed so many people. So I was just like, I don't feel right holding this in. I felt like I had already like, this is dramatic, but I felt like I'd already lost everything because um no one wanted to work with me anymore. Like, and like I tried to uh sue them, and no lawyers would take my case, and I was advised by so many people, don't speak out about this publicly because it will make you look like you're hard to work with. And that is true. I haven't really worked uh, much since then. Well, so after I posted my video, which I guess I tried to get it up before the mission trip to Nepal so that maybe he would not be able to go and hurt people.
Yeah.
He did end up going, and he also I was reaching out to people. I was like, hey, he shouldn't, any people who are associated with this mission trip or just associated with the church. I was like, this is what happened. Like, he needs to go to rehab or something. Like, he needs help. He's not a stable person, and he's very violent. And everyone just blocked me. And then I received a it was a fake cease and desist in the mail from my abuser. He had never been to my
Mm,
home, but Fearless had my address from that little QR code thing from the first time.
that's right.
I went,
Yeah.
so And they had also, Fearless had sent out a cease and desist to a podcaster who he just called them and was like, what are you doing? And they're like, we'll sue you. Yeah. So I was like, if they were sent at the same time, so like, I'm pretty sure it was like, all of that was, they did it all together. Um,
Right.
yeah. So that made me feel super unsafe in my own home. Um,
Yeah. Rightfully
yeah.
so.
But after I posted my video, so many people reached out and they told me about their experiences with Fearless, people who have been abused by my abuser as well. And it made me feel so much less alone, but also so hurt that they've been doing this for like years, like over 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't understand. It's hard for me to grasp that can do all this horrendous, like cause all this harm and get away with it.
Yeah.
And like no one, not really, very few people talk about it online. I'm probably like the most vocal. Yeah, so I'm glad that I did. And I also see sometimes like on TikTok, you can see who views your page, and a lot of people who are still part of the cult see my videos. So hopefully that
Wow.
like plants a seed and they're like, oh, yeah, that I should leave.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I wouldn't take it back, even though it's really negatively impacted my life. Like a lot of my personal relationships, I felt like I had to, well, not that I had to, but I wanted to. Yeah.
I love that. And I love that for you. And
Thank
you
you.
did the right thing. And you're
Thank you.
doing the right thing right now.
Thank you. I've spoken to many other people who have left Fearless, and multiple members have told, I've expressed my concern about getting sued. They said they're not going to, because then you asked to go into discovery and they do not want that. Allegedly, that's just
Hmm.
what I've been told.
Yes.
So, yeah,
Yes.
so that's why I'm like, well, they've done all they can to try to stop me, but I haven't. So I'm a little bit fearful of if they're going to do more, like they gave my abuser my address, and then on my
Right.
birthday they sent me like this email and it like ruined my birthday, like being like, happy birthday, you're from your fearless fam, like even though like they hadn't contacted me in like a year and a half. I had unsubscribed from everything, and then they re-signed me up for their text messages, and I was just like, I'm not gonna stop. So okay, like you'll get caught one day.
Yeah. I mean, keep it up.
Yeah.
And, and more eyes will go on it as more people feel safe and comfortable to start breaking their silence, right?
Hmm.
And power and numbers. And just like you said, you're not the only one and you know that.
Hmm.
And usually when it comes to repeat offenders, of course, there are more out there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, like I said, you are doing the damn thing, first of all. And like I said, I am so proud of you and you should be proud of yourself. So, with that being said, what message would you share with someone who might be where you once were, and if they're feeling unsure or afraid to speak out or to leave the organization?
Well, first, I don't th if you don't feel safe speaking out, you don't have to. But
Hmm.
if you do, this has been the most difficult thing I've ever been through, probably. It'll impact your relationships. But I would just try to find a good support system, which it was hard for me to do. So I ended up finding MTMV Lauren, and she's helped me so much. So I would reach out to Lauren, or just you could reach out to me. I don't know, just find there are people who believe you and will be there for you and listen, and just, yeah, if I didn't have my online like community support, I don't know where I would be right now. So yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
that resonates.
Yeah.
I love that for you. And
Yeah.
I'm so glad you found Lauren. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, before we start getting into the fun parts of this interview, I want to make sure that we hit on a very important person also affiliated with the church. So can you walk me through who that is, his relation, X, Y, and Z?
Yes, so there's a member of Fearless, and his name is Vitali. In 2020, he got arrested for assaulting a random woman, and he's just known for not being the best guy. And he's a member of Fearless. He promotes them. Like when the LA fires were happening, he was like, "My Jeremy Johnson, my pastor is was willing to help any of you." Like they took advantage of that.
Mm,
Yeah. So I posted about it. I was like, Vitali is known to be a not so great guy, and he's a member of this church. People, please look into this. Someone. So since Vitali was a member, I thought, oh, maybe people will listen now,
right.
because he's affiliated with this crazy, insane cult. So I reached out to so many people, was ignored by so many people. People with millions of followers like, I'll do anything to help you spread your story, and then they just ghosted me. I used to be a fan of the H3 podcast, and Ethan Klein, the host of the podcast, was kind of obsessed with Vitaly. So I was like, he's going to talk about this. So I was like, please talk about it. Please talk about it. Like this, he's in a cult. Like you should talk about it. And he brought it up. He did. He pulled up one of my Reddit posts, and I don't think he quite understood the severity of the situation, but it did say trigger warning abuse. So he read like the first line of the set of my post, and he goes, yada yada, blah blah blah. Well, sorry that happened to you, or congratulations. And that that really hurt. And his fans were so mean to me, or not all of them. Oh, so a lot of them were nice to me, but some of them were so mean to me and like telling me that I was lying to make Ethan look bad and like all these things. It was so weird. Anyway, so Vitali, last month, he was in the Philippines to spread the word of God. I did air quotes. Um, and he got arrested for harassing locals. And it was a big news story. So I was like, okay, now everyone please pay attention. Like he's in this cult. Maybe people will pay attention now. Um, it didn't work. One day people will pay attention though, I hope.
Well, either way, it's out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, this will be out there.
Yeah.
And like I said, this whole interview serves so many different purposes, but the biggest one is that you are sending out the warning signs, the bat signal, right? Of saying, I was not in a safe space in
Mhm.
this place. And you know that people have experienced similar things. And just know, like I said, you are doing one of the most bravest things that you can do as a
Thank you.
survivor.
Thank you.
And it's an honor to be a part of this journey with you. So, my last question for you. After doing something so brave and selfless to protect others and reclaim your voice, what does life after this chapter look like in your eyes?
Well, so right after I quit, I didn't feel safe here. So in the US, or just in LA. So I went to Europe because one of my favorite bands, or two of my favorite bands, Boy Genius and Muna, were touring there. And
I
that like,
love this.
yeah, they're both queer bands, and they really helped me with like accepting
Mm,
uh my identity. And yeah, that was like a
mhm.
huge thing. And since then I have been traveling. I do travel a lot to go to concerts. Also, another artist who helped me a lot with that was Peach PRC. I went to her concert the day before I finally quit, because
Wow.
I was around all these queer people. And the professor had made it clear that he's not a supporter of the LGBTQ plus community. And one time he was talking about another influencer that he works with who's a member of the cult. And he said something about how she was not a very nice person and that she was struggling with lesbianism. And I was like, uh,
Oh,
um, and this was
wow.
during Pride Month. So anyway, but
Yeah.
so I was
How
like,
dare you,
yeah, I was
first
like,
of all.
okay, yeah. So I was like, okay, well, that's hurting me, but look at all these
Mhm.
other people. I don't want to make money. I don't want to help this man who is so against all of these people just loving who they love. I was like, I can't do this anymore. So the day after the PTRC concert, I quit. So she helped me a lot too. Yeah.
What a breakthrough.
Yeah,
for
I
you
know.
and like the cathartic feeling of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually so Peach PRC is from Australia, and I went to Australia for her tour last year,
Oh, hell
and
yeah.
I ended up telling her, like, I was trying not to trauma dump. I was like, you help me leave a cult, and like I don't know, she and like now she knows me, so that's really cool. And yeah, I
Um,
just it I've made like so many like I'm so grateful for like the queer community and just like how just I just feel so accepted, and this music and like all these concerts and these experiences, it just like helped. Like I don't think I could have gone through all of this without them. So yeah, yeah,
Quincy, that's
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. Thank you. But what I was gonna say is, so
Yeah.
after this job, I didn't work for a year.
Hmm.
And then my dad's friend has an elderly aunt, and she needed someone to come like bake with her and watch Days of Our Lives with her. So yeah, so that was my first
Hell
job
yeah.
back. I still work with her.
Oh.
She's like my best friend. Yeah, I love her. Um
Oh,
so that's what I've been doing now, and I kind of gave up on. I was like, maybe production or just like being in the entertainment industry isn't for me. And I really thought about it, and I was like, this is what I've always wanted to do. They've taken so much from me. You can't take that from me too. So I
hmm.
actually a couple weeks ago I did my first paid editing gig since that, and that was like a huge thing for me. I
Quincy.
know. And yeah, so I'm really proud of myself for doing that. And also I'm gonna start taking film classes like in the fall. So
Yeah.
like I'm excited for that. Like I'm not gonna give up, even though like it is still really hard. I'm not gonna give up on what I've always wanted because of these
Hmm.
losers.
Hmm.
So yeah. Yeah.
Um, co-signing all of this, okay? And like repeat. I love this pathway for you so much. You're damn right. They're not going to take that from you. Bravo. And I'm so excited that you're taking that power back. And that's what you need to do. Like
Mhm.
you just need to reflect on like who you are as a person at your core. And that's the creative in you, and it's always going to be in you, and it's the most beautiful, wonderful feeling from, so I'm just saying, from another filmmaker to another, keep going. And you're so young, trust me. You want to start planting your seeds in this industry and start
Mhm.
doing it like the grassroots way, and you're already on your way. You've been doing
Yeah.
it, so bravo to you. All right.
Th- Thank you so much,
Anything?
Celine.
Yeah. Oh, my pleasure. Okay. So, one of the other important things, like I said, kind of going back to the beginning of the interview, when we were talking about a lot of new age cults are operating, talk to me about like the reality of realizing, oh, I'm in a cult. Yeah. Talk to me about that whole progression.
Yeah, well, I never ever thought I would ever be part of a cult. I think no one ever thinks that. So I think people need to be kinder to others who have gone through these experiences and just be more understanding that like how deep the manipulation goes and how they can disguise themselves as something completely different. Um
Hmm. Yep.
yeah, so just that no one's immune to this manipulation. So yeah, I guess
Absolutely.
that's what I wanted to say.
We are here at one of my favorite parts of this interview, which is, I don't want to call it rapid fire questions anymore because I feel like that gives my guests anxiety and like, ah, so
Yeah.
all I'm gonna say is just whatever comes first to you, that's usually where your heart is. So, first question, if you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
Teleportation, because I love to travel, and I don't know, some of those flights are kind of brutal, so that would be cool. And also they're expensive, so yeah, I think that's what I
Way
would choose.
expensive. I
Yeah.
I think that's mine too. I think that's what I said,
Really?
actually, because yeah, Yeah, and I can't be on a plane for like more than 7 hours.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah, with you on
Yeah.
that. Love it. What's the most interesting thing you've read or watched recently?
I really loved the show Severance. I've been kind of obsessed with that show, so I'd say Severance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think you just finally convinced me, even though I should watch it. I am a big Parks and Rec fan, so Adam Scott, I
Hmm.
know, does a fabulous job. So,
Yeah, he's great. And
okay.
it's also culty a little bit. So if you've also been in like
Mm,
a super if you've been in like a cult situation, I don't know, I like relate to a lot of it.
yeah.
So yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Now I'm even more intrigued because
Yeah.
I don't think anybody has said that to me. So interesting. Okay. Favorite show, movie, band, music, what have you?
Okay. Well, my favorite band is Muna, but I also love Boy Genius so much and Peach PRC. Yeah, they have helped me through this. And also the movies Barbie and Bottoms. I watched that on repeat for like almost a year because they're like my comfort movies. So yeah, those are my favorites.
Barbie's my comfort movie.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I have
Mm-hmm.
I have all of the Margot Robbie Barbies in my room.
Oh, I love this so much. My daughter's bathroom is just straight Barbie. So
I
yeah, we're a bit
I love
big
that.
Barbie house. Oh, that makes me happy. Okay, now music. Just as a whole, talk to me like about your relationship with music and like how's that been integrated in like your healing path?
Um, yeah, well, a lot of the music well, actually pretty much all the music I listen to are is by queer artists. So a lot of their music I can resonate with. Especially Muna has a song called Loudspeaker, and it's about just not like speaking up and not being silenced even though people want you to be. And like that song, I listen to that song a lot and like that's helped me through this. And also they have a song called I Know a Place, which is about like having a queer community and like being, I don't know, just there. I don't even know how to, it's hard for me to describe just like being at the concerts, listening to these songs with all these other people who resonate with the music and like being around all these other queer people who have, I'm sure a lot of us have gone through similar experiences with like religion and things like that. It's just so comforting. Um, yeah, I hope I said,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I totally get it. And okay, I love the fact that you go and travel for concerts because that's what my husband and I do as well. Because you're right, like being able to be in like community with these people that just like you're feeding off of each other too,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Like it's the beauty of it. And I got to experience that with Beyonce. And I even recorded a video for Lauren for her favorite song.
Oh.
Because like I get what you're saying. Like that feeling of just like that adrenaline rush and knowing that these people have gone through like probably similar adversities, like you said, like
Hmm.
yourself. I think the same thing, you know, like
Hmm.
it's such a beautiful thing. So tell me like where have been some of like your top favorite places you have gone to like a concert?
Well, I love Australia. People were so nice,
Yeah.
and it might also
Mm.
be because most of the people like I surrounded myself with, it was just I was around a bunch of lesbians, so I was like, oh, everyone's so nice. Yeah, I loved Australia. I was at
Yeah.
oh my gosh, so many places. I love Copenhagen.
Yeah.
I didn't go to a concert here, but I love Tokyo. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Tokyo's like one of my favorite places. Yeah, I've been so many places, like even places I've been to some places I didn't even know I'd ever go, like Milwaukee. I went to Milwaukee to see Muna and like places like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I
So,
love this so much
yeah.
for you. Ugh,
Thank
that's amazing.
you.
Okay. Next question. If you were an animal, which one would you be and why?
This is like kind of related to the travel thing. Probably a bird.
Yeah.
So just like
Yeah.
if I'm in an
I'm
uncomfortable
here for
situation, I
it.
could just like leave or like, just
Yeah.
yeah.
What do you envision? Like a colorful bird, hummingbird?
I know pigeons used to be used as messengers, and then we stopped using them, so there's like there's a whole thing about pigeons, and like I don't know, I'm not very good at explaining it, but I feel like I relate to pigeons, so maybe a pigeon.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Truly, I actually really, really love that
Thank you.
answer. What's a hobby or passion you have that might surprise people?
I mean, yeah, so when I travel, I usually, well, to save money and also it's cool to meet new people, I stay in hostels, and I've met some of the
Nice.
most like there you could literally do anything with your life. And I realize, like, I've met this guy, and he just travels around the world, and he just juggles, and he makes his living just
Oh,
juggling around the world. I was like, that's
wow.
cool. And then what I met someone, and they were in the UK for like a baton spinning competition, and like that's their job. I was like,
Baton?
there's yeah,
Like the long sticks, right?
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And I don't know, you just like meet
I
so
love
many
this.
interesting people, and it's like
Wow.
I don't yeah, it just like opens your like meeting all these new people, and like seeing how people live differently. It just like kind of opens your mind, like wow, like yeah.
I love that for
Yeah.
you. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Now, do you karaoke?
Okay, so when I lived in South Korea, karaoke's a big thing. It's
Ooh.
called noraebang. Um, so I would do that all the time. Mostly like it was like if I was drunk, that's when I felt more comfortable because I'm not the best singer.
I
Um,
love this.
but yeah, so I haven't done karaoke in a while, but I loved it. It was so fun when I lived in Korea.
So what was your what is your go-to karaoke song?
Well, at that time it was um I think in I think the title in English is Like It's Your Last by Blackpink.
Oh.
Yeah. And I would sing it with my really not so great Korean, but it was so fun, and I would do the dancing and
Oh,
yeah.
I love this so much.
Yeah.
That's fun. Okay. If you could pick one travel spot that you've been to that is your absolute favorite, hands down, which one would it be and why?
I would say New York, because that's like New York is
Mm.
always my safe space. I have a lot of family there. My aunts are um well my aunt is married to another woman, and they've helped me a lot through my journey of accepting my queerness and that too. And I just always feel so safe with them. And a lot of my family out there is just super accepting. And so New York is my like every time I'm sad, I'm like, I need to go to New York and be with family. So New York.
Oh, I love it. That's a
Yeah.
beautiful answer. Now, what about local favorites or a shout out?
Well, I already gave a little shout out to Lauren, but I think Lauren
Yeah.
deserves like so much. When I was looking for resources to help me, I was it's really hard to find people who actually care, and she actually does care, and she continues to care about all survivors. And yeah, I admire her a lot, and yeah, she's helped me so much. And yeah, so if you are looking for support, if you are a survivor of sexual abuse, or yeah, I would highly recommend checking out Lauren's Instagram. And yeah, I'm in a support group with her, and that's like it's changed my life. So yeah.
Who is a hero of yours and why?
Well, okay, now I'm like obsessed. I sound obsessed with Lauren, but I would say Lauren because she's she's gone through so much. And even though like she is still healing from the awful things that have happened to her, she still is there for so many people, and has helped so many people. She's helped so many people getting resources, and like I love you, Lauren.
I think you're amazing. You should be so proud of yourself.
Thank you. I feel like I'm gonna cry.
I'm crying.
Oh.
Who's cutting onions?
Just thank you so much for coming on, sharing your story, but also having the bravery to allow me to be a part of this journey with you because I see you, I hear you, and I totally understand that what you went through was not easy. What you went through matters. And you are reminding other survivors that they are not alone. People on the internet aren't always who they perceive themselves to be. And like I said, you did a really courageous and important thing today. So just thank you so much for being here. And I so appreciate who you are as a person. And I'm so happy I'm in community with you now.
Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me the space to share, and for handling my story with such care, and it means a lot to me. So I'm so appreciative of you, and I'm so glad that we met.
Thank you, Quincy.
This is True Crime in Hollywood, a personal tale, a La Activista production with music by Mickey O'Brien. Don't forget to like, share, and leave a review for the show. Thank you for listening, and as always, remember the victims and embrace the survivors.